Yeah, but honestly, man, I think I'm starting to lose hope, man.
Oh, hopefully, okay. We'll do our best to fix that. Try to give you some direction, see what we can do. So,
Yeah, okay, let's see what we can do.
right?
But like the vote that I shared with you, will that work, or like if not, we can like review another game.
No, yeah, that's totally fine. If you have another game you'd prefer to go over, you can definitely send it to me. But this file is completely fine.
I, yeah, but like I don't have like the POV for it, so
Uh,
I think
why don't
this
we
one
just
is
start with
better
this
for
one?
you.
Yeah, I'm completely fine with it. So why don't we just start with this for now?
Yeah, okay, sure. Okay.
So first of all,
Are you gonna, by the way, are you gonna share screen?
yep,
Before we start, I just wanted to ask, like, are you recording this, or or can I record this, like, for further,
I am
like,
recording this
after?
and I will post it. If you want me to keep it unlisted so it's not public, I can definitely do that. That's up to you entirely. But I will have it available for you to go back over. If you would still like to record it, completely feel free. It's entirely up to you.
No, I think then you can just record it, and yeah, I don't mind. You can post it like publicly on YouTube too. Like that's how I found you, so I don't mind.
Yeah, definitely. I do
Really,
appreciate that.
it's
Thank you.
completely okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
super. So first of all, why don't we start off with just like tell me a bit about like your league experience so far. How long we've been playing. You said your goal is to get to plat.
Yeah.
What's the motivation behind that? Just where we're at. Tell me
The
what we're thinking.
motivation behind. Okay. So I think I just like start from the very beginning. Maybe I
Please.
started playing or like last year around. This is like not my first account. I had another account
Okay.
last year that I played on, and that was like on a US server.
Okay.
But I had like 200 ping there, so now I switched to this like the Garena server, the Singapore one.
Nice.
And here I get like around 60 to 70 ping, so it's like really huge. That's why like you won't see any games in 2023 season here, but I started around I would say like May or June. I don't like exactly remember.
Okay.
And I started as an 80 carry, but then I like tried almost like every role, and I settled on to mid for like almost as long as I've had this account, I think, because I'm main mid on this account.
Okay.
And my goal for platinum, it comes from like just like it seems like a nice like middle rank, like it's not like super low like iron, bronze, silver, and it's not like super high like the apex ranks.
Definitely.
So I just chose like the middle rankings because I at least want to be like decent at the game. So
Yeah, for sure. And then what what's kind of our experience with gaming? Like what's our background in gaming? What's our background in kind of competitive endeavors in general?
can you like expand a bit more on that question? Because I don't really like understand what do you mean when you say gaming experience.
Yeah, like so is League like your first like multiplayer kind of competitive game? Have we played other ones like maybe CS:GO or like any like what games have we played just in general and then
Okay. Yeah, no, I can share on
go from
that.
there?
So
Yeah.
I would say that League is kind of like the first like a keyboard and mouse game.
Okay.
But League is definitely not like my first competitive game. Do you know like mahjong
I do,
and
yes.
chess?
Yep.
Yeah, so I like Japanese mahjong, Riki
Okay.
mahjong. Yeah, so I used to play like mahjong and chess a lot, and chess not so much, but chess is just like a side hobby.
Okay.
But I used to play like mahjong a lot, and it was also, and I got like top 200 ranking
Oh
in
wow.
mahjong
That's very
actually.
impressive.
Yeah, so that's because like I was like really passionate about it.
Yep.
But those are basically the only two games I play, and those are both like board games. Like if you
Yes.
understand, like only used like the mouse. So I went. So if you're asking me like about video games, I haven't had any experience.
Okay.
But competitive world, I'm familiar with the competitive world for sure because I was actually like trying to climb in the mahjong game.
Okay, yeah, that's great perspective. So I think the first thing I kind of want to lay out is that here. So for instance, like we'll just go look at my account real quick because
Okay.
you were or actually I have another account we can look at.
I actually have not looked like. Don't mind me saying this, but I didn't watch like your YouTube video
Oh,
fully.
no,
So
no
if you showed
worries
it
at
there
all.
too, I haven't looked at it.
No stress at all. The thing I want to show you here is like this is one of my accounts. It's my lower rated account currently, and it's Emerald 4, and that's the top 10%. And
Yeah, that's pretty good
so
thing.
yeah. The whole point I'm trying to say here, and is that's just one rank above plat. And
Yeah, I know.
so what I want to get to there is that while plat is definitely kind of like more middle of the road in terms of skill in like ranked league, it's definitely still very skilled players that are in plat, right? So that's a great goal to have, and it's definitely something we can work towards and something we can keep. But I just want you to understand, like, that's not a 1 season, 2 season journey. That'll take time, and that's going to take effort to work towards. It's not something that's going to happen quickly. It's something that's going to take a long process to get to. It's 100% doable. It's 100% something that's reasonable and accomplishable. I just want to set your expectations that that's not something that it could, like, maybe something will click and we'll get there quickly. But if this is our first keyboard and mouse game, if this is our first real competitive video game, then it's definitely, there's some skills and some prerequisites that we're just going to have to build through reps and experience. That's going to take time to get to.
All right, sure.
Um,
I can kind of understand that. Like, because it's like, as you said, it's like you showed me it's like top 10% almost.
yeah,
So yeah, I can understand it taking like an year, 2 years.
exactly, right. And it's totally possible for us to get there quicker. What it's gonna depend on most is what our process towards league looks like, how we're approaching the game, how we're approaching learning, and how we're approaching like our mindset with the game just in general. And so I say, why don't we segue into that a little bit? So our goal is to play league competitively, right? To like use this as a competitive hobby, or
Yep.
okay, so definitely. So I think then there's a couple like ground things I would like to lay out in terms of what I think would be good structure to give you. So on average, how many games would we say we're playing a week?
Right now, like because I just graduated from uni, so right now I'm kind
Congrats.
of like free all days. So I just play like I don't know, I just play like all day whenever I'm free.
Okay.
Uh, uh, but before that, I only used to do like 3 or 4 at max.
Okay. So I would say
Yep.
the ideal, what we should be aiming for, is about 15 to 20 games per week. I want this a little bit thinner.
That looks like 209. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, hold on. Give me one sec. How do I do this? I'm an amateur, you can see. Oh, here we are.
Yeah, I can see you haven't used Epic Player.
Yep, so 15 to 20 games a week would be ideal. And what I would like to even look at that more so is if we can get 3 games a day, that would be really good as well. And what a lot of like the misconception with gaming a lot of people have is that it's like, okay, I'm just going to grind at my computer for 12, 13 hours. But if you've played like competitive board games quite intensely, like you understand that if you have like a
No,
game where you're giving it
you
your
can't play
all,
more than 2 games. Like honestly, you can't play more than 2 games
yeah,
in my experience
your
without
brain's
losing.
fried, right? Your brain is completely
Yeah,
fried.
yeah, yeah.
So it's like it's the
Yep.
exact same thing with League. We want to be approaching each game with high intensity because that's going to give us the most like presence in game and allow us to take the most learning from each individual game. Right? And if we're just grinding a bunch of games back to back to back in a whole day, by the 4th game we're going to be a bad player no matter what. So at that point it just becomes coin flippy. So if we do 1 to 3 games in blocks, so what I mean by that is like do a session of like 1 to 3 games, or even if we're gonna do a session, ideally like a 2-game minimum, but a 3-game maximum. And obviously this depends kind of how we feel. If we play 3 games and we're like, hey, I feel really good still, I feel like mentally I'm still like present and I can feel like I could get value out of 4th game, that's fine. If you play 2 games and you're like, holy shit, I'm drained, completely fine to stop there. But just something to keep in mind is that like you understand, like if we have true intensity in our games, we're going to be drained after we play 2 to 3. So that's something to just be looking at there in terms of our games.
Okay.
I'd say another thing.
Can I like interject you
Of
like right
course,
there for a
yeah.
minute?
Please feel free if you have anything you
Uh,
like, any questions or anything you want to say. Please feel free to cut me off.
because like if you don't mind, like there's like this BBC podcast by like Coach
Yeah,
Curtis.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
watched some of it, and this like concept you're saying, does it come from there?
It
I'm
sure
just
does.
asking because it
Yes.
sounds quite familiar.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds
I
quite familiar to what
most
they.
of my coaching stuff comes from them and their content. I love the BBC. Huge shout out to those guys. They do amazing work for the community. They have so much like great
Yeah,
stuff to say. I'm actually part of Curtis's mid lane program, and I like that's where my like gameplay and understanding went to another level. And I just enjoy like
yeah.
trying to help and coach. So I'm just trying to give back where I can. But yeah, so a lot of the stuff I'm gonna
I
say is just directly from there, honestly.
Okay, but I would still like to say, like, please explain in as much detail as you can, because I still like, just because it's something like I just only like heard about it, I don't like really understand
Yeah, totally.
much of it. So,
Yeah, but
so
yeah,
don't be like, oh, he's already familiar with this. Please don't think like
no,
in
for
that
sure,
direction.
for sure.
Uh, yeah, yeah,
So I would say, okay, so the next thing I really want to get on is like when we're playing League competitively. And so what that means really is like we're trying to develop ourselves as a player. We're trying to become a better player. And what's hard to do in League is separate our ability as a player from our rank, right? I separate our value as a player from our rank. And the best way to not get super emotional about, oh, I just like lost 3 games in a row and now I'm down 90 LP or something. And it's like, fuck, like I just want to get back into bronze. And that can become this like
yeah. The
huge.
worst part is I dropped from silver, so now it's kind of like,
No.
oh my god.
Yeah, dude, it's tough. But like the best thing to do in your
And
situation.
the thing about, yeah, no, go on.
No, no, please.
Oh, I was just gonna ramble about how this isn't like even like 3 games in a row, because I lost one. I was like, okay, I'll take a few hours break. Then I lost another one. Then I was like, okay, I'll take a few hours break, and then I lost another one.
Yeah, dude, it's
So,
so painful. League can be so painful sometimes. But I'd say like really the best thing we
but,
can do.
but I understand, like any individual, I at least like understand this concept. Like any individual game does not have like much of an impact. It's like the overall like average over many amounts of game that will
Exactly.
actually
And that's
determine
the
the
kind
rank.
of thing we need to be holding on like each side equally is I just keep happening is we want to each individual game is simultaneously the most important game you've ever played and it just doesn't matter at all. Right? We want to go into each game with high intensity. We want to be in each game with full presence, really like paying attention, taking action, trying to make decisions. But then when things like when the game, whether you win it or lose it, we just want to be like, okay, that was just a game, one of hundreds, right? So that's the kind of dichotomy we need to hold in our mind, is that we're both simultaneously really valuing each game, but not letting it dictate our value as a player. And that's just kind of the mindset we want to have towards playing League, especially ranked, especially competitively. Otherwise, it's very easily to get trapped in the emotional loop of like losing and winning, to get trapped in the loop of like playing with teammates or just various things, because what we want, what the goal of each game is to learn, is to take value out of the game and to be like, okay, well, this happened. Why did that happen? What could I do next time I'm in a similar situation? And so that leads me to something else I want to talk about is League has an insane amount of variables, right? Let's look at just these 2 last games we played. There's what? Two. I'm looking at like there's 2 champions that are consistent throughout the games, right?
Yeah.
Just Morgana is right. Morgana's in both games, but it's a different Morgana player, right? And the Morgana even builds different items in these games, right? And that's the only consistent variable within these games. So think about like there's so many variables in each League game. There's so much going on, and there's so much variance game to game. And so what this is leading me to is what we want to do is minimize our variables as much as we possibly can. And what that looks like to me is having a champion pool that we're focused on and consistent on. And I would say with where you're at right now, I would really ideally we focus on one champion hardcore. And if you think you're going to lose your mind only playing one champion, then let's go 1 to 2 champions. What would that?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I can do like just one champion because I'll just, as you said, I think I'll just lose my mind. So maybe we can just do two
Yeah,
champions.
totally. That's most people. Very few people can really just play one champion.
Yeah.
What champions do you think that would look like for you? Out of, let's say,
Okay,
like
so
this year, what do you think? What champions like speak to you? Do you like?
if you can just like give me a moment.
Yeah, totally. Take your
Okay,
time.
so if I had to like play two champions to platinum, I think one would have to be Gale,
Okay.
and another champion out of these champions, I would just say probably Victor.
Okay.
But Victor is getting like no, but like the thing is Victor is getting changed. So and I wouldn't want to play the new Victor.
I don't think
So
he's
I'm
just
gonna
getting
choose
hit.
a
It's just
different one.
a visual update. It's not like a gameplay
Yeah,
update, I
but
don't
I
believe.
don't like the visual updates, so I'm not gonna
Fair
play it.
enough. Fair enough. Gotta
Like
respect
the only
that.
reason I play, I liked Victor because he's like the machine guy, and now it's being changed. So I'm not gonna play Victor then. So I think it would have to be probably.
And it doesn't okay, it doesn't necessarily even
It's quite
need.
hard. Like there's so many choices. I
Yeah.
think like Yone, I can do Yone a lot of games.
I
I
would
can do
say
Yone
I
like
would I mean if you really, really want to play Yone, we can do it. But I would say worth where we're at right now, I would recommend staying away from Yone. Yone's very difficult. He
okay. Then
requires
then I
really high
can
level
do
execution and his reference points. This
then
is
I
the
can
main thing.
do okay. Then I can do like Oriana or Hue.
Sure.
Like
Yeah. Those are also great champions. I would say
those are like basically kind of the same, right?
definitely. And it doesn't even necessarily like if you'd rather play Vagar, if you would like to just play Lux, like that's fine too. Like if you find some other champions you think like actually maybe I'd like to play this one, or there's other champions you know
Those
of.
games I was just like if you like scroll a bit down, you will see I was like just spamming Victor for a few days. So
He's
now
a
I
great
just kind of
champion.
wanted
He
to like
really
try
is
a
a great
different
champion, you
champion.
know. But
Yeah, so
ultimately the
these
point I want
three.
to get across to you, and the thing I want to make clear is, so if we want to play two champions, this is completely fine. Let's find two champions that we're willing to commit to, and it doesn't need to be forever. You're right. You're not locking into these champions forever. I want to say like give it like a month of just playing two champions, and ideally we're
Okay.
focusing on one champion to really be like min maxing on, and so we want to be playing
Yeah.
whatever champion, like say it was Kale is the guy we really want to focus on, and then
Yeah, if I had to choose one, it would be Gale, to be
okay,
honest.
and then Ori is like our other champion. Say that's what we do. I want to
Yeah,
play
Oriana.
for every one Oriana game. I want to play two Kale games. That's how I want to look at it, right? So most of our time is going to be focused on Kale, and occasionally we're just going to be playing Oriana, just to like
Yeah, I get it. It's
so we're
kind of
not
like
losing our mind, you know. So we have something else. Like if there's
yeah,
a game I really don't want to play Kale,
it's
I'll
like
play Oriana.
like 70% Kale and like 25% Oriana and maybe like 5% for autofill or something.
Exactly. And even if we get autofill, just play our champions anyways. So like again, like
Or what
our
if I get jungle?
fuck it, dude, Kale jungle, whip it out.
Okay.
So or you can just dodge too. It's not a big deal. So it's like here, like we're looking
Yeah.
at 33 unique champions on ranked. Is not honestly, I've seen much worse. It's really that's not terrible, but ideally we're honing in because think about it this way, right? You play League through a champion, right? You always have to be playing a champion to play League. So we have to
Yeah, that
understand
makes sense.
and we there's a deep level of like I don't know really anything about mahjong, but if you've played chess, then you know about like openings and such. Like somebody who's played
Yeah.
one opening a lot of times understands all the variables around that opening, understands all the different paths that opening can take, will be much better than somebody who has played like 8 different openings like 5 times, right?
Yeah, no, I can actually like super duper relate to that because I'm like a two opening trick guy. Like I only know two openings and I just spam them and I go to like 1500 just spamming two openings. So like one for white, one for black.
Yeah, exactly, right? So
Yeah.
it's again it's like it's about minimizing as many variables as possible. And then this way we're also like developing reference points through our champions So, for instance, when we're playing Kale, we'll be like, how I feel at one item versus how I feel at two items, how I feel at level 6 versus how I feel at level 11. You'll develop an intuitive understanding of your strength at those points in the games, meaning you'll understand what you can and can't do, what you can get done on the map, what sort of fights you can take, what sort of fights are good for you, what sort of game states are good for you. Understanding these moments will give you the understanding of how to execute within game, will give you direction within game. But if we're constantly spreading ourselves thin throughout a whole bunch of champions, then like that all gets muddled. It becomes much harder to have a clear picture and develop a clear understanding of what's really going on. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. I would like if you expanded a bit on like the reference point concept. Because
Totally.
I understand what you just said at surface level, right? Like if I only play like one champion, and then most of the time I will be able to like identify like basically how much damage I can put out given like my runes and items and like the combination of such and such. But what do you like really mean by like reference points? Do you mean like when like for kill it can be like, okay, now I'm like level 6, now I can farm a bit easily, now I'm like level 11, now I can maybe team fight at level 16,
Exactly.
I can maybe
Yep.
like
So it's
destroy
exactly
someone.
what I mean. Is in that like there's clear points in the game where you're gonna have stronger power. So those are gonna be your power spikes. For Kale, like she starts off like why does this keep happening? She starts off quite weak. And then
It's like
well, when
about
she hits 6, then it's like a nice little spike, and then she's kind of like just cruising up, and then when she hits 11, that's a huge spike, and then obviously when she hits 16,
yeah,
she just becomes stronger. So like understanding
yeah,
clearly what it means to be level 11, what that means, what you can get done. Like this is a reference point. Like okay, I'm level 11 on Kale. I understand like generally what
I
I
have
can
maybe
do.
like 1v1 most champions like
Exactly. But for instance, say like
yeah, yeah,
this is Kale, not Victor. What level
yeah,
11
yeah,
means into Ari specifically, what level 11 means into Skarner specifically, like and so on and so forth, right? Or what it means to be a
yeah,
level 11 Kale with a Darius, with a Zinzao, with an Ezreal, right? Think about that because like there's so many variables between who your teammates are, how they're playing their champions, what they're building, who's strong in any given game. And so having the reference points
yeah,
for your like and also reference points means like for instance on Victor really likes getting to objectives first. He really likes being like at the dragon first so he can control like the choke points in the river. So he can like get his W down, he can laser through it, he can get his ult down. Like that's a reference point for Victor where it's like I need to get to objectives first so I can play fights out cleanly from there. Or
so
like
basically like how do we want to fight basically.
yeah, it's a pretty broad
Yeah.
concept and it has a lot of applications, but in turn it's like things it's just specifics within like okay, what it means to be level 9 on Victor and have your E upgrade, what it means to get to your first like what your power is on your first item with Victor. It's just giving you these like touchstones within game to have an understanding of like where you're at or what it's like, you know?
Yeah, I think I get the general concept of it.
Totally. Let's why don't we get into game
Yeah,
a little bit here and then we can kind of
sure.
maybe we'll see some examples of it.
All right, sure. By the way, I already like kind of reviewed this game myself as well because obviously I like, recorded it like quite a few days ago. I
Super.
even had like a friend look at it like
Awesome. Is
like
that
oh, hope you
something
don't mind that.
no, not at all. Is that something you do consistently at all or we review our games or
No, it was just because I recorded this one and I was like, okay, let's look at it. And then like my friend, he's like masters, right? So
oh, that's
I was
awesome.
like, okay, sure, like yeah. But like he like he quit league last year and he like only like helps me like sometimes because like he really like doesn't like the game anymore.
Oh
But
no.
he still like helps me, so that's like really nice of him.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say, I forget. Anyways, so
Okay.
kind of like what's our I know we're looking to move away from Victor, but we'll just pretend we're not for the sake of this review
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah, sure.
What's kind of our mindset when we are playing Victor? What's our mindset into an Ari? What are we thinking like
think into most champions when I play Victor is like I just want to poke them like so much they just want to go home. Like I want them out of my lane,
Yep,
and I try to use like my laser and like my Q to do that.
definitely.
I don't really like skill W a lot. Like unless it's like some obvious matchup where I would need W, I try to not skill W. And basically my mindset is just to like, farm up, get to like the evolutions and just poke and farm, poke and farm, poke and farm.
Totally. So something you kind of touched on there that I like to get into too is each champion kind of has their own identity of how they want to play the game, right? And with Victor, he's just like a strong early laner where he can definitely just like he can hold his own into pretty much any matchup, and he wants to play for just small wins in lane, and that can mean like eating them off of creeps or just eating them enough where they have to go and reset, and then we can just continue to grow our advantage because we're a strong laner that scales very nicely into the late game, right? We have very strong abilities. We scale very well. It's easy to get our damage off pretty safely. And what you said with W, I think that's completely fine. I would say probably just level up W at 4, or at 4 if we don't feel like we're under threat. That's
In
completely
most
fine.
matches, I like to do it at level 8, but it's fine.
I
Like
think I think that's just a
sometimes,
little
like
too late because there's definitely use of W prior to that, even in matchups where they're like ranged as well. Because like say Xin Zhao comes and he knocks up Ari, if you throw the W under, she's probably just dead. Or even the
think like
W
I
slow is
like
useful.
W. Yeah, I mean, it makes. I'm not saying I like don't level it up at level 4. Like I'm just saying a lot of the times I just level it up at level 8.
Yeah, I would just say be wary of doing that. I think that's just way too late to be getting your W. It's a high value skill that can give you value way before level 8. I think that's fine to push it to 4, but I wouldn't go much later than that.
Right. I mean, at level 3, most of the times it doesn't make sense if you can just
Exactly.
what
I
a
would
point.
just get another point in laser, or yeah, exactly. And so what's kind of your mindset? So we're a ranged matchup. We're a mage. Ari's the same. What's your kind of mindset in this sort of matchup? What do we want to? What do we have any ideas about what we want to be doing with the wave? What are we kind of thinking?
I'll be honest. The way you just said it, mage and ranged versus mage and ranged, I haven't like really thought about it that way. But it's kind of like, okay, I'm Victor into Ari. I'll just keep ordering minions so I have the push, and I'll just when she comes into my range, I'll like Q her or laser.
Totally.
And that's like I
So you
don't have like
said
much like complex. Like,
you said
thing
we want to be pushing the wave. Why do you feel like that? Is that just something like you're like I like pushing, or is there any logic behind
no, no, no.
it?
Like in the beginning, of course, it was just like, yeah, okay, I'll push and I'll get the tower. But like now I understand like there's like the level 2 spike and all, so that's
Yep.
why I like especially the first wave. Yep.
Totally. So a big thing in these like mage v mage matchups, especially when you're both ranged, is if you push the wave under her tower, she's forced to be auto attacking. She's forced to be hitting the wave, right? She has to
Yeah,
focus.
and you can hit her under the tower too. Yeah.
Exactly, right? That makes it so really like these are you can think about these as like dodgeball matchups, right? She can throw her Q out, she can throw her charm out, she can walk up, auto you with W. And for you, it's the same, right? You're looking to land your laser on her, you're looking to Q auto her when you can. Um, but what I'm getting at is that you're both trying to land skill shots and you're both trying to dodge skill shots. So what you want to do with the wave is create a scenario in which it's as easy as possible for you to be landing your skill shots. And that's most consistently by getting the push. Because if you have push, she's forced to try to auto the wave, use her abilities on the wave to counteract your push, or she's forced to like time her last hits, paying attention to tower shots, and she's going to be overwhelmed, allowing you to get even easier ease.
Also, like I don't know, if, like you, like obviously you're like much higher ranked, so I don't know if you can relate. But like whenever like I am getting pushed in, it feels really bad, and when I am pushing, it feels really good. So I just push.
Yeah, totally. Right. And it's like that makes a lot of sense when we're playing someone like Victor. Because we don't want to be using our laser on the wave when we don't have to be. We don't want to be like focused on we want to get pushed so we can be harassing them. Because that's what Victor does really well and what he wants to be doing. We want to be landing
Yep.
enough lasers where they're forced to base so that we can just keep accruing small advantages that will lead us to have like a really strong foundation from the early game so that we can scale very, very nicely into the mid and late and take over the game. Right? We're a strong laner, but by no means is our power condensed into the early game.
Yeah, okay.
I think Q start or E start is probably fine into mage matchups. E start's probably a little bit more consistent because then we can just like stay back here, be on auto range, autoing these creeps, and looking to laser her when she walks up. The issue with like Q start and looking to Q her is she can just like trade back onto you really easily. If this was a melee matchup, then maybe Q start makes more sense. But E start probably is a little bit more consistent against ranged matchups.
All right.
Like that's exactly case in point, right? Where it's easy for her to trade back. She could have done that even earlier if she was really paying attention.
I was also like, I was trying to get out so she doesn't like proc electrocute, but she still did.
Yeah, with her W, it's so easy for her to do that.
Yep.
And do we know our level up timers pretty well?
Yeah, I know. Like level 2 is like the first wave plus 1 melee, or it can be like 5 minutes plus like 2 of like the ranged ones, and level 3 is like 2 waves plus 2 minions.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly, perfect. Do you know roughly when level?
I don't know, like level 4.
Level 4 is not as important because level 1 or level 2
6 is like the 5-minute 30 wave. So.
The 530 cannon wave, perfect. Yeah, that's awesome. Level 4 and 5 aren't as important because it's like why level 2 and 3 and 6 are so big is because we're getting a new skill every time. So that's a big change in how the lane can function, the dynamic of the lane, or like the power of the lane. Those are the biggest opportunities to get things done. The biggest like differential in power. Obviously, we can always play around level mismatches. Like if we're level 5 and she's level 4, obviously we can look to trade and like it'll probably be advantageous for us. But it's not like 2, 3, and 6 are. These are the ones to pay attention to because of how much they influence the way the lane changes.
Yeah,
but that's awesome that you know those specifically. That's really great.
I mean, that's just like, that's just like a constant thing. So like,
yeah, totally. I mean, you'd be surprised. So that's a nice word. Yeah, exactly. I would say aim for like 220 to 230. That's a great word though. Great location, great spot to be. So another thing to think about when we're choosing which side we want to be warding to, what we want to be looking at is like what side is our jungler.
Where the jungler is pathing to. Yeah.
Exactly, right? Because we want to be able to hover to where our jungler is, but if we don't have vision protecting our hover, then we could still just get fucked up. But yeah. I mean, this is not bad stuff. This lane position is a little awkward, but we'll go back to that. But you see how like we're constantly stuck with the wave like right here.
Yeah.
Right. We want it to be under tower.
It doesn't fully crash and
exactly.
It doesn't like fully come back. So
exactly.
It's kind of like stuck there.
Yeah, and we're just exposed because of it. And right here, a little nitpicky thing, but I'd much rather we're just over here on this side. Right, it just makes it harder for us to get ganked from anything coming from this side. Which that's nitpicky.
Yeah. Also, like we have the ward there.
Exactly, like we did all this nice setup of like we placed a really good ward. We placed it understanding like where our Zin's going to be going to, but then we just start hovering to the other, leaning to the other side. So just that breaks down.
I don't remember like why I even like walked there. Like, I'll be honest, like this game was like a.
Yeah, I think you're. I think you're just really focused on trying to trade onto Zari, and admittedly, like we're trading well, but I think like have you heard of the mental stack? Have you heard of that concept?
Yeah, no, I understand the mental stack.
So it's like right now we're pretty focused on trading, right? So much of our attention is just on trading, and then most like of the rest
I
of
think
it.
it's maybe like 80% trading,
Exactly, right?
like
And the rest is on CS. That's all. We're
20%.
completely focused on what's happening in lane here. At least we have the wherewithal to like get our ward down to be doing that stuff. But how we
I
get
mean, I'll
that
be, no, no, okay,
no
go on.
how we get like trading in CS especially to go down in terms of their allotment towards our mental stack um,
Hmm.
is champion mastery. It's to be consistent with our champions, to be playing them a lot, to be getting those reps in. Because the more games we have played on Victor, say instead of like it was like 40 games or something, say we had 80 games instead.
No, actually, I have like total. I would say I have like almost 200 games because I used to play Victor. Like Victor is the like the main champion. Why like I started playing League.
Okay, yeah,
So like the
awesome.
first account too, I used to play a lot of Victor.
Yeah, so like the more games we have and the more consistently those games are, so it's like it's one thing if we have like 100 games like a season
Yeah,
ago,
I
but
would I would not be so sure about the consistent part.
exactly, right? It's like
Uh,
we need to be it's like if those games aren't consistent, then we're still not like that's some of that stuff gets rusty, some of that stuff isn't amazing.
yeah.
But
And even
that's
if like maybe if we had like the wrong intention going into the game, like maybe we thought we could just
100%.
like beat the crap out of someone in some of those games. Yeah, yeah, I get that.
100%. So right, like that's how this
I
stuff
get
becomes more consistent. How we spend less focus on trading or whatever, um, or we can do it just more automatically, and then some of that stuff comes more clearly. But obviously, it's like that. That
Before we
make
move on, like,
go ahead.
but before we move on,
Oh
I
yeah,
would need to say like, uh, if you like, you talk about like the mental tech, right? So I would be like totally like upfront with you. As you said, I'm mostly focused on trading and CS this lane, and I would say like a lot of the times I am mostly focused on the lane. Uh, so like I'm not like really, what's the word? I forgot. Like, sorry, my English is not too good.
no, you're fine.
uh, like I'm not like oblivious to the fact that like my mental stack is not like too big, like I can't think of a lot of things. But how do I get from like 80% thinking about trading, 20% about CS to like the 40%? And I know you said champion mastery, but like just to like make it clear to me, it does mean that like in the beginning it will still be that, right? Like the 80% and 20%, and then like gradually it'll go down,
Yes,
and
yep.
then
So
I can introduce new things.
so it's a bit of both,
It's,
right? It's partially like the more reps we get with intentionality, with intensity towards like trading and
yeah,
CS, the easier it's gonna, especially with our champion, the easier it's gonna be to do these things correctly. The less we're gonna have to focus on getting this stuff down. And then that stuff will gradually go down and we'll feel like we have more space to push other stuff into it. But also
right.
we need to spend some games just foregoing CSing and trading at that level, um,
Hmm.
and focusing on other stuff, focusing on jungle tracking, focusing on like getting really clean resets, focusing on doing other stuff really well, miss some trading opportunities, miss some CS opportunities, and eventually that was it's kind of like going to the gym and if you only do the same like exercises all the time, you're only going to get good with the muscles those exercises use, right? So you need to
Yeah.
put new things in there sometimes to kind of get you out of your comfort zone. And that's going to be a little ugly. You're going to do a lot of things wrong. You're going to start
Yeah.
trading worse than you used to, miss more CS than you're used to. And then the stuff you're trying to do that's new, you're not going to execute really cleanly. But over time, as the more we do that, the more space we're going to have in general. And the more we're going to feel comfortable and aware of the other things we need to be doing as well.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We can go on now.
Super. And totally. And a big part of it really, so it's like we're focused on trading, but like how focused are we on trading relative to like to RE? We're focused on CSing, but how well are we focused on CSing relative to like wave state and wave position? So you can also just go deeper on the trading, get more specific with trading, get more specific with our wave management, which is like the byproduct of CS, or CS is the byproduct of wave management. And that will also allow us to understand those at a deeper level, make them more intuitive.
Okay. Because like you have to understand like because from my point like even like trading and CSing is like so intensive I can't like even imagine like improving it. So it's like generally like it feels so much harder and like
I mean, we're trading quite nicely, and we're in this game, right? We've dodged a ton of our stuff. We landed a lot of our lasers. We landed nice Qs. So like our
we're
trading,
going on
yeah, exactly, because we're using all of our abilities, and we're kind of foregoing where the wave is to get this stuff done, which ultimately has been fine because like we have decent vision. We are leaning to our jungler side, so we're not entirely unsafe in what we're doing here. But do know, like Victor's in a mobile mage, right? We can't really get away from things if we're pushed up and we don't have like clear opportunities to get away. I would say probably avoid doing this too. Just put 3 points into laser. Like 2 into Q, 2 into E.
You can't at level 4 you had to put a point in Q or W. You can't
Yeah,
put a
okay, yeah,
point in
exactly why we should just we should just be hitting W here. Again. Because like this just feels really inefficient. We should just be getting W and then going laser from here on out. Maybe again
Yeah,
if this is a melee matchup, but even then it's like there's still W value. You're
I think into
definitely
melees it makes more sense to go W, because they get on top of you. Into Aries,
exactly.
like she can just W out, she can walk out. Like the W stand is like
Yeah, I think
I
you're
feel like W is like really bad.
no, it's an amazing
That's not
ability. I
good
think
to
you're really
start.
disrespecting its value, and you're over respecting their ability to play out of it. You definitely should be
Yeah,
taking it at 4 here. You definitely should be.
yeah, okay. All right. I mean, I'll keep it in mind if I ever play Victor again.
So here, like, right, we're a
For
mage.
sure.
We're a mage who's stuck in lane now with no mana, and this is when things get quite
Yeah,
ugly
that
on
sucks.
mages, right? And this is a byproduct of like our focus has been so intensely on getting these trades off that we have foregoed any opportunity to get a reset off. We foregoed any ability to cleanly crash this wave to enable our resets to be clean. So do you know, like, ideally on what sort of wave we want to be resetting on like which sort of wave spawning do we want to be resetting?
I mean, like, like, it's a cannon wave, right? Like,
Yes.
it's nothing
Yep.
like too much. There's like no trick to it.
Nope, it's very simple. Just when the cannon wave is
Yeah,
spawning, that's ideally when we're recalling.
that's when you wanna base, because even if they push it in, like the cannon tanks so much of the tower, you can basically like get the whole wave, even if you walk back and not TP.
Exactly,
It's like
right?
my reasoning behind it.
Yep, it enables us to save our TP and it enables us to miss as little as possible on our reset.
Yeah, because most of the times you only miss like the one melee that like tanks initially, and then like the cannon is most of the time still alive, at least in my experience. Maybe
Exactly.
like sometimes you miss the cannon, but
Yeah, very if we're being clean with our reset, very rarely do we, right?
yeah.
And do we
But I would
know
also say like even though like I know in theory I like this concept, like most of the times like I am not like really focused on that.
exactly, right? That's the thing with League is like none of it's too hard. Like none of it's that complicated, but it's like actually executing on it
Yeah.
is a different level because right, that requires us to like take a step back from tunneling on trading to be like, okay, I need a reset soon because I'm low on mana here. I need what wave am I on? Like we would pan down and be like, is this a cannon wave? And if it is, then we need to shove this right away and reset. And ideally we know that this is a cannon wave before it's spawning so we can reset ahead of time.
Yeah, I mean, I do that sometimes, which is exactly why, like, I know the concept, but like, I don't think I do it consistently.
Yeah, so it's just something that takes intentionality when we get into game, being like, okay, I'm going to focus on getting good resets this game. And how do I do that? That's by stacking a wave and crashing it before the reset comes out, or even just crashing like shoving and crashing the wave before the cannon wave comes out. Right? Like if we just focus on that the next time we play a game, even if at the cost of nothing else, if we can just do that one thing right, then that's a successful game.
I haven't really thought about it that way, but yeah.
It's like that's what we're trying to do is improve these skills and like get the reps in and the feeling of getting these skills like because that's a fundamental. Like getting clean resets is definitely it's definitely a fundamental. It's something you do every single game. It's something that can completely change and dictate the outcome of a game. And on certain champions like Victor, or if we're going to be playing Kale, like she needs to have good resets. You have to take
Yeah.
because like it's so important that she's not getting stuck in lane and low resources, that when she does reset, she's not losing a bunch of golden experience and getting back at.
Yeah, experience is like so much important on Kale
Oh yeah,
too.
and like that's the hallmark of resetting, right? Is like what you want to be looking at is what do I lose? Like what am I losing when I go back? What am I missing? And the best resets are minimizing that loss.
Yep.
And do we know like right now what we'd want to be buying when we base? Or do we kind of like
lost chapter, right?
do we just like base then see how much gold we have and we're like, okay, I'll just see what I can get?
No, like if you'll even see it this game. Like I stay until like the 1200 gold for lost chapter, even with this low amount of mana,
Yeah,
because I
definitely.
really want to get the lost chapter on first base.
It's totally okay
I
to
think some of
be.
it also just happens because uh, like you'll just see like it will be like so perfect, like I will have like the perfect amount of gold and like the wave will be like neutral, so
Yeah,
whatever.
that's fair, right? But again, here, just like anytime we're playing a mage, this is a major red flag that we have no mana.
Yep.
We're essentially useless, right? We can auto
Yeah.
attack, and maybe in like a couple seconds we can throw a Q. In a minute, maybe we can throw an E. But we're essentially useless. We can't do anything. We can't help Xin Zhao do anything. If we get ganked, we're screwed. We can't actually fight the Ahri. So it's fine. Like in this situation, if we're playing a mage in the early game with no mana, just base TP. It's completely fine.
Okay.
And it's fine to base before Lost Chapter. Yeah, that's the ideal. But with the way we were playing lane, it's like that's never going to happen. Because we're just spamming abilities every single time they're up.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And like right here, wouldn't it be great if we could have done anything?
Lasered her, yeah.
Yeah, right. Literally anything. But we're a caster minion. We're literally a caster minion. And now
Yeah, just
Ari's
walk
about to
it
get
out.
back into
Didn't do
lane,
nothing.
and we're still manaless, and she's just going to have complete control of the lane.
Yep.
I mean, she TP's back, which is interesting.
I think, yeah, she TP's back quite late, but
We're landing nice E's.
yeah, but like this E, I feel like this E was completely useless because like 0 mana after this E, so like
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, we're not getting any value out of them.
I think I get cancelled here.
Yeah, it's just kind of a greedy spot. Yeah. And so Ari's a champion who really likes to shove and move. So like especially when she hits 6, like she's not amazing in the 1v1, but she's an amazing skirmisher. She's great at like roaming. She's a decent team fighter. So she likes. So what that means is that we kind of like our job, especially as a champion like Viktor, who's strong in lane. Our job is to kind of disable her ability to get like clean roams off, disable like handicap her ability to go and skirmish, to go and move. And there's two main ways we can do that. We can either land a lot of poke, so she actually just isn't able, like doesn't have the HP to go and move to any fights. Or we're setting up waves so that she has to stay in lane to catch the wave or she misses a ton.
I think this freeze was good for that, no? Like
so this feels like it's one of these things that's counterintuitive about freezing. Is freezing actually just gives them a clear opportunity to leave lane and go and roam, right? Because she can walk up and try and
miss the minions, right?
Yes, but she's missing less minions than if you were stacking a wave and crashing a wave. And it takes longer for your so the main purpose of a freeze is your safety and your lane position. A freeze doesn't really disable their ability to move to any side lanes, right? But if we had a big wave stacked up and crashing, then that actually is a bigger incentive.
I think it makes sense. She can even think like, oh, the wave's frozen anyway. Let me just go to bot lane.
Exactly, right? Because what can she really do when the wave's frozen here? She has to fight you off of it. I mean, she lands a nice charm to enable that. But even on like when we're holding this wave. It's like she has to walk up, put herself in a dangerous position, use her abilities on the wave, meaning like if you fight her, it's hard for her to react. Or if Xin Zhao's here, it's an easy gank. Right, so it's like she's just like, okay, this is frozen. Let me go to dragon, help my jungler. Let me go down to bot, get something done. So it's one of those things that feels counterintuitive, where it's like, I agree completely initially, where it's like, it feels like a freeze would be punishing them. And by some level it is. We still are making them miss creeps. But ultimately, we have no pressure on the map when we freeze. And she's just free to move. So just something to keep in mind.
Okay. I feel like some of these concepts get too high level for like bronze, man.
Yeah, no, right? Totally. It's just something
And
to be aware of, though.
also this game I really learned like Victor R is really useless against Ari because she just ults out and your R will never catch up to her. It moves
Yeah,
so
so
slow.
it feels that way, right? But like, so something you can keep in mind is, if say we drop R and her now, or like say we do it back here, it's really good on a mobile mages to be trading your ultimate into Ari. If you can use your ultimate to force her to use hers out, now she has no threat onto you. Because Ari's threat onto a mobile mages is her ability to dash onto them, charm, Q, dash, right?
Yeah.
So it's like if you're playing Ori,
down.
if we're playing Viktor, it's completely fine to just like throw our ult out just to get the damage down, to get lane control. And if we can force her ult out, then that's a win for us, because then we're safer in lane. And like we just identified, if she doesn't have ult, she can't, that kneecaps her ability to go and roam, her ability to go and fight in skirmishes. Like, do you see that connection?
Yeah, it makes sense. I
Yeah.
think I do it some games too, but like this game I didn't do it.
Yeah, no, totally. Just something to keep in mind, where it's like, if we're playing, like, it's totally fine on control mages to just use your ult to get lane control, or use your ults to force out the enemy's ult to lower their ability to get things done, to lower their threat onto you or onto the map.
I think I just use it to like as a poke ability, like as my laser. Like on Oriana, sometimes I'll like just ult them just to like get their HP a bit more lower when I'm like QW and cooldown maybe.
Yeah, it's
Because it's like I don't like really like save it for like the 5-man Oriana ult or something.
yeah,
Just like use it.
definitely something to just like keep in mind. It's like there's definitely value out of just ulting for
Yeah.
lane control, ulting for like trading ults. It's completely fine to do that. And Ori and Viktor are great examples of that.
Here I'll just die. This is like my first set of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I reviewed this and I actually could have known Skarner was there, but like instead of voting, so it's like completely my bad.
Yeah, and it's also if we look at the ward itself, I think it doesn't really line up with anything we need right now, right? Like ideally, if we're getting vision, I think like this bush is the best possible choice, or even here or better, right? Because we know that they just took grubs. That's on cooldown. We know that Xin Zhao is going to be in bot side, and also Dragon's the next objective. This ward would just be, wards on the bottom side of the map here are just going to be higher value anyways. Outside of like, yeah, we just saw Skarner on grubs. We could assume he's top side. So
Yeah.
just unfortunate.
Yep.
But the learning we can take from this, right, is that like this ward would have been kind of useless anyways. It wouldn't have done that much for us because we already have vision over here regardless.
Yeah, and like my friend also pointed out, like I was gonna reset anyway, so
Exactly,
like, why do
yeah.
I even need vision right now?
Exactly. Were you going Black Friday Torch in this game?
Yeah, I usually like to go Blackfire Torch.
I would definitely recommend Ludens for you. It just
Yeah, I get burst build. Yeah.
yeah, it's just strong burst. Our goal is to like poke people out to get that sort of stuff.
I think this game I was like, there's Renekton and Skarner, so like two tanks, so like go the Blackfire Torch.
Yeah, if we want tank shred, we'll just get Leandries or something. Yeah.
Next, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I went like the full build I went in this game.
Mm-hmm. Skarner's mad, looks like. But like right here, it's like
everybody comes. Like you'll see in the moment, like even the misfortune is gonna come.
Jeez.
Everybody just sees, like everybody sees a harmless Viktor and like, oh my god, they don't want him on the screen. I'm just trying to farm, man.
Yeah, well, kind of, right? We're really just trying to trade on this Ari still. We're just like, that's our main real focus. And we just know, right? We literally just saw
It's kind of go both sides, yeah.
even outside of that, we just
took the dragon.
Yeah, exactly. We just saw them all took dragon here. I mean, Xin Zhao helps them.
Yeah.
But so we know there's people bot side. And again, like this is back to like, if we had vision over here, if we didn't waste our ward over here and we were able to place something here, then trading here is much safer. But like with where this wave is located, with where it's meeting right here, looking to trade here, especially knowing stuff's going on, is just like asking for people to come and kill us.
Yep.
Especially like with how Ari's looking, like look how she's hovering here. She's just standing next to a bush, walking back to the bush. It's like, you know, there's some tells here that she's got some friends.
Yep.
I mean, ultimately we live, so we're fine, is what it is.
Yeah, I sacrificed the Xin Zhao there to live myself.
Yeah, and also we're losing a ton of minions.
Yep.
We lost the cannon, we lost like 4 or 5 creeps. Definitely unfortunate, because Viktor is especially a champion who really likes high CS a minute.
We want the stacks.
Yeah, we want stacks, items, XP. It's all very important on Viktor as well. Where do we place our word? Okay, I'm stupid.
I just place it at the same place. Yeah. Like it's just like an automatic habit of mine. I just place it at the same place.
Yeah, it's a good spot. It's a good location for the ward. And again, as long as the intention here is like Xin Zhao's on my top side, the next objective to spawn is going to be.
That was not my intention at all.
Grubs too.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, I respect that. I respect that.
Just to have it.
This is what the intention should be, though, right? We can see that. Like we see our jungler wants to be top side. He wants to be getting to this objective eventually. That's why this ward is high value here. That's why it does make sense and it is good. It's a good location. If we're gonna have a habit for a word, that's not a bad spot. Just try to be intentional with like where people are. Oh.
Yep.
And it's definitely like we're fine getting
I think 1v1 I win like almost all the time.
Yeah, but like our goal isn't we win, but we're never killing her, right? Because like we identified, she can almost always just leave. When she's really under threat, she can just dash out. It's fine to be trading on her, but I think our main focus at this point in the game is to just eat the wave here. Like we want to just clear the wave. We want to shove it so we can go and like shadow our Viktor. So we just want to shove it and then like move to like not our Viktor, our Xin Zhao. Or like if we think bot lane's going to get ganked, we just shove and we start walking down. If nothing happens, we walk back up, we shove. We walk up here, get a ward. Then we walk back, we shove again. Like that's at this point, that's kind of our goal more so than like looking to win the 1v1. We're looking to influence the map. We're looking to get wards down. We're looking to get to objectives first to control our chokes. And I think that's definitely like the main motif we're seeing in this game is that like we're trading really nicely. Like we're winning most of our trades. We're dodging a lot of Ari's stuff. We're making it hard for her to land her charms and her Qs. But we're sacrificing everything else at the cost of doing that. Like, do we see that Xin Zhao's fighting here? Or are we just like looking to E again on the right?
No, I saw that. I even like went there and collected the shit down there.
Yeah, but like how long does it take us to? That's like one thing here, right? How long has this fight been going on, right? Before we decide
that's not
to.
The question I have a positive answer for. Like,
I mean, it just is what it is, right? It's because like we identified, our mental stack is so consumed with min-maxing our trades.
I think the moment I pressed the F key for Xin Zhao is the exact moment I noticed it. So like as soon as I noticed, I did like I did like press the F key as soon as I noticed it. But
Yes, yeah, totally.
yeah,
And we get there.
it's like a proper 3 or 4 seconds late.
Exactly, and that makes the difference in these games for sure. Like that could be the difference between him like living and getting these grubs, or dying and their team getting them, and that means a lot.
Yep.
And here it's like we're so bloodthirsty and focused on getting these trades. We're just like we're tanking this whole minion wave. We're tanking we're losing the opportunity to just shove this quickly and start getting tower damage. I mean, I get we're looking for
I have red buff, right?
yeah, but it's just
Yeah, I
like
was looking to cancel her base there.
Mhm.
Like when I was going, I was like in the kill mindset. I just wanted to cancel her base because I knew she was low HP and she would want a base. Oh, this one when I choke so hard. If I land this laser, I actually get her.
But we're dying. We're literally dying here because we are sacrificing our tempo to try and do this, right?
Yep.
Because if we were focused on like, okay, I have my item. I literally have gold for my item here.
Yeah,
I just forced her
yeah,
out.
I mean, 1E just pushes the wave.
Exactly, right? We just need to get a clean reset here. And even like if I shove this wave quickly, before this wave even spawns, I can just walk back and miss nothing. I'll have my item, I'll be out on the map and a strong point. But instead, like we're so focused on like fucking with this Ahri that we're losing the opportunity. We're not eating through the creeps in a clean way. And then Ahri just takes advantage of it. We have no mana, we have no HP, and we're still stuck in lane.
Yep.
Okay, so what I want to go back to now at this point is kind of like I want to start identifying how we can take control of the lane and the waves in a way where we're getting clean crashes so we can enable clean resets eventually. If one opportunity we almost always have, it's not super guaranteed on Viktor. His wave clear is good, but it's not amazing early on.
Yeah, until the E upgrade, it's kind of whatever.
Yes, like we're not like annihilating waves quickly, but have you ever heard of like a 3-wave crash?
Yeah, no, about the like I know the cheater concept.
Exactly, right? So
crash like the cheater recall.
So we can also do a 2-wave crash. Like these are real options in the early game. Both of these are assuming.
I understand what you mean by these words, but I'll be honest. When I try to implement them, like it's really hard to like actually implement them. Like if I tried to do a 2-wave crash once, and what happened was like I think it was against, I don't remember, but like the enemy champion just went on me and I lost almost all my HP for doing the 2-wave crash, and it didn't even like properly crash. He just tanked the creeps afterwards.
Yeah, right.
It's really hard to execute on this.
It can definitely
like,
be difficult
because it sounds so simple. It's like, okay, crash 2 waves, crash 3 waves, but like we're ignoring so many things here. Like, hold on a minute.
Yes, for sure.
I'm sorry if this sounds low elo
No, not at all.
I'm sure it sounds like low elo.
No, because you're completely
really
right.
difficult.
You're completely right, and we're just like, yeah, just crash the second wave. Like, come on. But it's like you're forgetting about, like you said, you're ignoring so many different things that could be happening in that scenario. So let's get specific with it, and I'll show you kind of how we can enable these crashes better for our gameplay. So first of all, what's most important with this early lane and early like wave management especially is the minion HP, is minion health just in general. And
I think that's why like leveling up E-level 1 makes sense too. You can just eat the whole wave.
Yeah, exactly.
At once and secure the push.
Yep, because then we're going to be getting a lot of value out of our ability, getting a lot of creep damage down. But what we want to be looking at specifically is their minion health compared to ours. And the early levels, this is a really important thing. And so when you're in range v range matchups, often what this kind of looks like is like we did here. We auto 1 creep twice. Or what we can do is like we auto 1 creep twice, and then we auto another creep once. And what that will do is stagger the minion health of these 3 melees. I'm sure you've seen scenarios where all 3 melees get down to really low HP simultaneously. And then you can use one ability.
I can avoid, like what you're describing. Like I don't exactly like do it like 2-on-1 and like 1-on-1. But yeah, I tried like auto, like the melee, so they are different health, so I can like last hit them better. Like, this is something that I pretty much do every game almost. Because
Totally.
I know, like, when all 3 are going down, it's either you have to use an ability or you're basically like gonna lose two of them.
Yes. So what I would recommend doing is do 2 on one on another. And what this does, one is, yeah, it allows like staggered HP for you, so you can last hit them better. But
Yeah, I
also,
think theoretically it makes sense.
this makes it so they can't just like stand back here, throw her Q, get all 3 of these, right? It means she has to walk up and onto them. And there's a lot of champions where this will mess with their early game strategy.
Why can't she still just stand back and queue this? Because I can totally see a world where she just stands back and queue the 3.
Because then she won't be, because if you stagger their HP like this, then that will also reflect in your creeps HP. Because they're gonna die at different points, meaning the damage dealt to your creeps will be different. So like normally, if say you don't touch the wave at all, eventually all 3 will be down at the same point at the same time.
They die at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if she wants to stand back in queue, she's not getting all 3. She's only going to get 2 or get 1. Right. So at least we're making it harder.
Too, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah. And then also,
because the one I ordered twice will die first, so it won't be damaging.
Exactly. And even outside of that, so like that's one thing just with this first cluster here. But more importantly, is like what we want to be doing, why it's important to get these auto attacks down right away, is we want to be getting the creep health advantage, which means that now if she wants to like walk up and auto this, we can E her, but we're still guaranteeing we have push. This will actually result in getting level 2 first. Because eventually, like, we're just going to have more damage dealt. She's going to have to play catch up. And the only way she can do that is use her abilities on the wave, which gives us an opportunity to counterattack. But even outside of that, like the goal is just to be getting level 2 first. And just we do that by getting the creep health advantage. But that means so we want to be matching her autos every time she's autoing our creeps. To maintain our health advantage on the creeps. It's like right now she just got 2 autos that we're just not reciprocating. But so again, to come back to like our 3-wave crash, how do we get that done correctly? It's really important that we're maintaining our health advantage so we can get level 2 first, so we can maintain control of the lane. That will allow us to continue to control the waves, essentially.
Yeah, you still wanna like slow push second and then just burn everything on the 3rd wave, so because that's the wave you want to crash.
Exactly. And sometimes you can't. Like sometimes you won't be able to get that 3rd wave crash, or like you've pushed too fast in wave 1 and 2, and it's fine to just completely crash on the 2nd wave. Because ultimately the goal of getting a crash, you can do whatever you want with your
back.
Exactly. You can do whatever you want with your tempo, but it's to make sure we're guaranteeing the bounce back. Because we don't want to be stuck in this lane position for a long time, especially on an immobile mage. Whether it's Kale or Viktor or Orianna, it doesn't matter. Even on mobile champions, it's still quite ugly, right?
Yeah, I was just going to say Kaylee's not like a mage. At least not in my eyes.
No, but like she's still a mobile champion, right? And that's the main key there.
Yes, that is very much
true. that is the main key there, right? We don't want to be stuck in an awkward lane position.
On immobile champions.
Yep.
And like also on like mobile champions, like why would you want to be in an uncomfortable position?
Exactly. We're just asking to get games. Right.
Yeah.
And so in this case, like right, the things we're taking into account is to how much creep health is on the enemy team, on the enemy creeps, how much damage we can do with our abilities onto the wave, and then the main thing is where our reinforcing wave is, right? Because this wave is obviously mirrored on the other side of the map. So it's always going to be where this wave is will tell you where their wave is, which will tell you how much time you have to crash it.
Yep.
So in this case, like, if we identify, like, around here, it's like, okay, with this wave position, with how many creeps they have left, I don't really have time to wait for this wave to... Because, like, if this wave is meeting right here...
Yeah, it will meet right there.
We don't have the ability to do damage to the wave safely and to get the crash in, right?
Yeah.
So you just have to identify, okay, I just need to do a 2-wave crash here, just so I can guarantee I'm getting this wave under tower. Does that make sense?
we just need, yeah, we just need to like immediately pivot because we're like, even though we wanted to do the three-wave crash, now we can't. So just pivot into the two-wave.
Exactly. We just
Makes
have to
sense to me.
adapt.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Yep.
Where it's like, okay, it's not feasible. I'm actually going to be able to hold this wave in time and push the third wave in cleanly, get this wave under tower, completely fine. And that's simultaneously like, if say we just did this a little bit quicker, this was back here instead, and this got under tower.
No, the wave is like exactly at the like the fog of war, like the first like the first creep is like right there.
Yeah,
Like
it's just
there it
very
is.
important. It's just barely out of tower. It's so unfortunate.
Yeah.
But this would also open up like a beautiful time to just go inward and then just hang out and wait for the bounce to come back out.
Yep.
And this is how you're going to set up way more consistent early games. How we're going to stay safe within our early game. How we can like getting these crash and this bounce. Because if they start bouncing and it's a big wave, eventually it'll crash under our tower if we let it. Then we can stack a wave back out, crash that one, and that's a clean reset. And often we'll be on nice gold to be able to get something good. It's like getting like wave management like this is the core of getting our resets off cleanly.
All right.
And it's like obviously Skarner is not a super high threat jungler, but there's some junglers that could really just take advantage of you in this position, make you blow your flash.
Yeah. No.
And better laners can obviously take advantage of you there as well. But you see what I'm getting at. You see kind of what I'm saying here. And you see the specifics of how we can enable these a little bit cleaner. What our options are.
Yeah. Yeah. But like the thing I wanted to like bring this up, especially like I had this point where like, and I even like asked my like girlfriend about it, and even some like other people. The thing is like, conceptually, I understand what you're saying. Like even like sometimes like I don't mean to get cocky here or anything, but sometimes like when you're trying to explain the concept, like I already know the theory behind it. Like sometimes like even throughout the session, you might have felt that way, or at least I have felt that way. I may be wrong, but like the thing is, I still like can't do it. Like how do I go from like actually knowing to actually applying?
It's what you said earlier, where you said I tried this once and it went poorly, and so I never tried it again, right? It's being okay with trying it and having the game completely fall apart because it didn't go well. Because that's how we learn. Is we get in there, we try it, we're like, okay, it didn't go well. Why didn't it go well? And you'd be like, oh, well, I tried to like force a 3-wave crash into a champion who could just fight me off the wave. Or I tried to force a 3-wave crash when I should have just done a 2-wave crash instead. And you have to be okay with taking that as the value of your game and being like, okay, that learning is what's going to get me to the next rank, is what's actually going to get me into bronze, is continuously taking these little gems and taking like accruing all these small learnings eventually over time will correlate to you climbing. But then
I'll be honest with you, like I'm quite literally like done with like the rank thing, because it's just taking a toll on my mental. Like the more I think about rank, the more I just get depressed and like whatnot. So I just try like not to like at this point I'm just trying to like okay, I'll just play to learn and nothing else. I'll not even look at my rank. But it's still very difficult because you see it like after every single fucking game.
yeah, so what I do in those situations,
So hard,
what I
man.
used to do when I had a major mental block with like breaking from plat to or not emerald to diamond was a major, like that cusp was a major thing for me, and I was getting so worked up with every game. What I literally would do is use my hand to cover over the progression part and then click continue, just so you literally
Oh, that makes a lot of
so you
sense.
literally
Yeah.
don't even see it and you click continue. So,
Yeah, I see.
but also it's like it feels like you do have a bit of like an emotional block with like, we used to be silver, now we're down in iron, like what's happening, like I'm playing all these games, like you obviously like you're trading well, like we have your micro for somebody who's never played a keyboard and mouse game is actually not bad at all, it's quite good.
I mean, like, but like at this point, I've been playing for a year, so you can't really like say that, you know. So
Yeah, you'd be surprised, you really would be. But outside of that, it's like I feel like you should be climbing. Like we're understanding these things. We've obviously looked into educational content. Like if you found me, you know,
that's the thing that I wanted to get at. Like, I feel like I should be doing good, but I'm just so like, and I don't even deny it. Like,
mhm.
whenever I look back, I just so many misplays all the time.
Right, yeah, it's like we have so much opportunity to get better. And what it comes down to is like really squeezing out what we can, looking at where we can like really improve. Um, I think one thing that might help you is just accepting where we're at, accepting where our rank is, and being like, okay, right now I'm just an Iron 1 player. That's just the reality of it. It's completely okay. It's like your value, like your rank doesn't define your value as a player or a person by any means. It's complete. We just got to accept where we're at because that's the easiest and clearest way to just move forward from it and be like, okay, I'm in Iron 1 and I'm playing against Iron players and low bronze players. Let's just attack it from there. Let's just accept that. I think what will help you is really just like focusing our champion pool, really limiting ourselves to two champions, playing 2-1 on our champions. If you want to play Kale, that's fine. If you want to play Ori, that's fine. But again, just lock in on those champions for a minimum of at least 3 weeks. Really be disciplined with that so we can develop our reference points, so we can build up our confidence on the champions in game, so we can develop our clear identity of what these champions want to do and how I can execute on it. I think that
Okay, like really quick,
yeah.
On like the same champion, like master thing. Do you like? Sorry, I would rephrase that. Would you say like it's detrimental? Like, let's say I commit to Kale and Oriana, but then like after like the 3 game session or whatever, like I play 2 games of Kale, one of Oriana, and then whatever. Then like because right now I'm like completely free because like I'm just fresh out of uni, right? And I don't really like. I'm not like looking for a job right now, so I'm like completely free for like the next few months. Would you say it's detrimental if I spend like my free time in normal games
Yes,
playing
I
like
do.
different champions?
I do, because it's going to
It
muddy
would
your
be detrimental.
experience. And also, the main thing is like we want to be attacking these games with high intensity. We want to be putting all of ourself into these games. So by the end of our session, we should be drained. If we're not drained, it means we're not actually pushing in these games and playing with high intensity.
No, no, I agree with the drain part.
And so what I would
I'm
recommend,
saying
if we want
after I'm
to get a
drained,
lot of
I
games
play
in, if
normals.
what again, no, because it's just going to be, it's going to muddy your experience. If we want to get more games in, what I would recommend you do is take like a 1 to 2 hour break away from the computer, doing something entirely different,
No, no, I understand.
and then come
Yeah, I
back and get
understood
another
the
session
theory
in.
of that. I was
But
just
if we
asking.
continue, it's like going to the gym, getting a strong workout in with the intention to really like build ourselves, and then going to like go and run. Like you need to like get that rest time. You need to get that time away from the game. And also, if we go and we're playing normals, we're playing the game with really low intensity. We're playing the game on other champions just to mess around. That's gonna translate into your high intensity games. It's gonna translate into muddying your champion mastery experience. It will be detrimental overall. Ultimately, man, it's your hobby. You got to do what you want. You got to get out of it what you want. But if your goal is to climb, if your goal is to attack ranked competitively, then I would really say no, don't do that. That would be detrimental.
Okay, well, yeah, okay, I will because that is what I've been doing currently, and I felt like it was bad for me, but it didn't make sense to me. Like, if it is real bad, like I'm just playing more games, how can it be bad? But like the way you explain it, yeah, I mean, I get it now. Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, I think also because even if you like look at my matches, like even today I played like 1 or 2 normal games, and in normal games I just play like the most like what you call it, like the mechanical champions.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
And
yeah,
that's gonna
I think I
playing those
agree with that
mechanical
because
champions is gonna
I
require that intensity, right?
yeah, I think like things makes like a lot of sense like now, like the journey for me, like at least for the past few weeks, make a lot of sense right now. Okay,
That's
so
awesome.
thank you for that.
Of course, I'm glad to be of service for that. Because again, it's like League is one of those things where it's like you understand this if you've like had competitive endeavors. It's just about what you do off the game as much as you do in the game, right? So sometimes,
Yeah, I know.
like if we're not getting
Like
great
a lot of
sleep, if we're not getting good, if we're not like hydrated, like shit like that can really make an impact. And if we have no
yeah,
mental stamina,
hydration, good sleep, and like even like studying like makes a lot of impact.
totally,
By
100%.
studying, by studying, like in league, like the equivalent of I was using like chess, for example. In league, the equivalent would be like reviewing.
Totally. Reviewing your games, or let's say we're gonna play Kale, it's like go find high level Kale OTPs. and watch their gameplay and be like, okay, what are they doing that they're
Basically
getting
what
success in their game? You know, or finding, like, if you like the BBC, like, go to Curtis's YouTube. He's got a ton of great educational content. Like Coach Tim Mysterious, he's
I
also
don't
got,
really like his like.
fair enough.
I don't
Like
know.
there's
Yeah,
just like there's a ton of educational content out there
yeah,
that can give you more holistic game stuff as well. But
yeah, yeah. No, I get it.
mhm.
Like that was just a personal preference thing,
Yeah,
like
no,
the
for sure.
content style. Yeah, but I get that thing you're trying to say to me.
Super.
Because I do like for Kale especially like Nemesis plays a lot of like mid lane Kale.
Yes, he's
So
a
I watch a lot
phenomenal
of
player.
those videos of his. Yep. Yeah, the ult was to catch a fire, but she ulted away
Mhm.
again. I think after like the second time it happened, I never really used like my ultimate on her anymore
Yeah, that's fair.
because I learned the lesson.
Yeah, outside of lane, it's pretty low value on her.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's like on. I mean, we're swinging a bit here, but
I mean,
ultimately,
ultimately, this game is decided by a late game team fight, so I don't
mm,
think there's much like value in this game anymore.
yeah, we can. It would just be
It's
looking
like
at how you
real
play
life
the fights,
anime.
but how we get to the, like, how our strength is at those late game team fights. Like, you have to understand how snowbally League of Legends is, and how much a
No,
difference.
and
Like,
I understand the
mm,
snowball nature of the game very
yeah.
much
So it's like how we
because the
play
other
the early
games I've played are
lanes.
also very snowbally.
Exactly, right? So how we play the early lanes really matters. That's where I like to focus, because it's like, yeah, the stuff that's happening later on matters, but how you get there is
Definitely.
way more important. And on champions like Viktor, like Kale can side lane, Viktor really can't. But even
Yeah, Kale. No,
even
Kale can sign. I'm sorry,
mm,
I'm mixing up my words here a
yeah,
bit.
But even then, Kale still prefers to be, like, at that point, just be like a team fight threat, and that just means like being at objectives first. Victor
Yeah, because
especially is somebody who likes that.
I think the reason like Kale likes to side lane is to get those levels because in side lane you can get like the solo XP, and then in team fights, like the thing is even if you are not fed, you can just ultimate like if anyone is fed, you can just ultimate him. So
Exactly. You're a high DPS
really good.
threat. You have high ult value. Your W is an amazing ability. She's good in side lanes because her DPS is so high, and that she can also just ult people, like ult herself, and like win a lot of
Yeah,
fights. And she pushes quickly. She
yeah,
can push
yeah,
towers quickly. So that sort of thing. But
yeah. The
yeah,
E is very nice for towers and waves.
oh yeah, she's a fun
Like
champion.
once you get the, I don't know what the name for it is, but like once you get like the
Like
more powered
her
auto attack,
passive, yeah, right.
like
I forgot what it's called,
yeah,
like the
yeah,
waves
like the
exalted or
five
something.
stacks on the passive, it just like pushes in like 3 auto attacks, like the entire wave is gone.
Mm-hmm. All right, brother. Would you say you got any other questions or anything else you want to discuss, talk about?
Let me just think for a moment. All right. Yeah, I mean, we discussed champion pools. Yeah, okay. So, I would definitely say, like, if I like, as you're recommending to me, I would commit to Kayla and Oriana. What would you say should be like my learning objectives for those two champions? And
I'd
if
say the
like,
main thing that for both of them that will translate really well and that we've seen you're struggling with is our resetting. Like, we need to, like, the champions need really clean resetting. I think you'll find Oriana
Mhm.
will speak to you nicely just because, like, she can trade really well. She's got a lot of Victor's power in her trading. But
Yeah, no, I mean, they're quite same champions.
yeah, they've got a lot of
It's like
similarities.
Victory, Oriana, Q, kind of the same thing.
Yep.
Like,
And then I would say, like, just have a lot of intentionality around your first four waves. A lot of intentionality on, like, what getting clean crashes off, and then what you can do with that tempo, whether that's getting a tempo reset or like a cheater recall, like you said, just getting vision down, or just looking like around that stuff. I'd say, because it looks like your fighting's not bad. It looks like you have okay map awareness. It looks like there's definitely a lot of good stuff here, man. We just there's stuff we're missing that's like gonna connect it, right? There's something that the BBC always talks about, right? Is like, if imagine like league skills are like an electrical grid,
I haven't like,
and yeah,
I haven't watched so many of the episodes that like when you say like the BBC always talks about like I'm not like that familiar with that. I
yeah,
would
no worries.
understand.
I'll get into it
I've
for
just
you.
watched like 1 or 2 episodes. Okay.
So it's like, say for instance, like right now, like our trading is really good. That's a core fundamental we're doing all right, right? So like our trading is activated.
Okay.
Say like our CSing is decent. So like these things
Aha,
are connected.
I see where you're getting at. I
Yeah,
already see where
right.
you're getting at.
But
Yeah,
like if
yeah.
our
So it connects.
reset,
All
exactly.
interconnected.
But if like this
Yeah.
isn't connected,
You
then
can draw
like
a star basically.
exactly, it's
Yeah,
not. If this one thing isn't here,
Oh.
then we're gonna be suffering. Everything has to be at a similar baseline level for us to be like really moving in a consistent direction, where games will feel like, okay, this
It's kind
makes
of like
sense.
connected graph. Like I don't know how much you know graph theory, but yeah, it's kind of like you had to be like connected to like every node. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, totally. I'm glad it makes sense. I don't know much about graph theory, so. But yeah,
Oh,
exactly. So it's like we have.
things like you're making it look like a graph. So
Okay, super
that's
interesting.
why it came to my mind.
But exactly, if you get it, like that's awesome. So it's like we need to get everything to a baseline level. Like I think like our micro is not bad. Our trading's like is pretty good. Our CSing's fine enough. Our map awareness is fine enough. I would really like us to be focused
No,
on
I
like
think
where our jungler is,
I
where
think
their
I'll
jungler
focus
is.
on the reset.
Yeah, that's a great place to start, man. That's a great place to start because that
Alright.
on Ori and Kale, it's just a League of Legends fundamental is like getting clean resets down.
Yeah, like even if I'm not like it applies to any champion basically. It makes
Yes,
sense to me.
100%.
Makes sense that it's a feasible goal to go for. Right.
Awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, again,
I
just
think any more questions?
yeah. While you're thinking about that, I'll just reiterate. Like, so the main thing, right? I want 2 champs here.
And you don't have to. I'll just watch the session again. Because I'm planning to watch it again.
Super. I'll let you know as soon as it's up. Yep. So 2 champs, 2-1 games. Right. Let's focus on resetting.
Mhm.
Let's focus on just.
There's only one S in this. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. It's my ADHD brain. I'm sorry.
You're
I'm
good,
sorry.
bro.
I
You're
don't
so
mean
good.
to be rude.
No
I don't
worries.
mean to be rude. It's my ADHD brain.
No, bro. I'm not concerned about
I
it.
saw those 2 S and I'm like, oh my god.
I saw it
what
too.
is
I
happening?
was just like, oh, but it's all good, brother. You got to call. We need people to call each other out. You know, we're just making each other better, right? But yeah.
I'm not quite sure about that. It's, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I do wanted to ask, like, will you like do a follow up on me, or like, is this like the only thing I'm getting here?
No, totally. So I'm completely open. Feel free to hit me up whenever if you have any other questions or any other like anything you're confused about, want me to clarify on. If you'd like to get another session, I would say let's wait like 3 weeks where we're getting
At least at least the 3 weeks you recommend. It makes sense. Like it's like a doctor's appointment. Like at least take your medicine for 3 weeks.
Yeah, if we do it again tomorrow, it's like, well, maybe we should focus on resetting. It's gonna be, it's not gonna make a lot of sense. But yeah, I totally would just be free again. Nothing to worry about there. So just hit me up if you have any more questions, and in 3 weeks, if you want to get another session in, we can go through it again, talk some stuff over again. I'm completely down.
Okay, another thing I've just like it just came to me like right now, and you're free to like not answer it if you don't want to. Like, I just want to know like what your like peak rank is, and like what your like the one like basically your main champions and like stuff like that.
Yep. So I peaked
Like something about you basically.
Yeah, totally. I've been playing League for like 10, 11 years, like on and off, not super consistently, but yeah, long. Like I've been playing this game for a long ass time. I peaked Diamond 4 just last split. Then I like took half of this split to like learn Orianna. My main champions, I've been essentially one tricking Irelia for the past like year and a half. And right now I'm Emerald 2 on like not like a very impressive like game count. Like that's my biggest what am I doing?
You from like Oz or NA?
No, I'm from NA. It's like I'm on 15 games right now. It's not very nice. It's like that's on this account, and then this other account I showed you earlier on Gangster Clown was is the account I was like learning Orianna on. I was like trying to find a new champion to, because I got just like tired of playing only Irelia, and I was like losing my fucking mind with it. So
yeah, I can relate to that feeling.
So I played like 60 Orianna games, then 20. Like I've played a decent amount on this one, but I was trying to play Yone for a while. It was not going well. And then I just locked in Orianna Irelia again, and now I'm back playing Irelia on my main account. then yeah.
Okay, okay. I mean, yeah,
Hmm.
makes sense. I just
But you see, you've been
this
playing since
wasn't like
season
meant to
4.
be rude or anything.
Oh
I
no,
just
bro,
want to
not at
like,
all. Like, yeah, I'm not offended by it. I'm not ashamed or offended by it.
yeah. All right. Thanks for this,
Yeah,
man.
of
If like
course.
I don't really have any other questions right now, I will just like. I assume I can just like DM you on Discord if
Totally,
I get any
totally.
other questions.
Of course. At any
Right.
time, even over the next couple weeks, and then again in like 3 weeks, if you want to get another review, feel free to just hit me up. I'm completely open,
Yeah. All right.
so feel free.
Yeah. Another like.